Hello there and good evening. Much thanks for joining us here on the program. It is the 28th day of April 2023, a very eventful day here in the country as the Azimio leader Raila Odinga jets back into the country after 1 week. Now, what does that mean for the anti-government protest? We have that and so much more, and as well, Kilifi being the trending county this week with the Shakahola, of course, the graves that have been and the bodies that have been exhumed, as well as the arrest of Pastor Ezekiel. A lot happening around our 47 counties. Before we get into it, here are our top stories. Tonight on Lookup Weekend, we will come for you heavy and hard. CS Interior Kithure Kindiki tells those using religion to cause harm as he made changes to the security makeup in Kilifi County. Kibochi out, Ogola in. President William Ruto has appointed General Francis Omondi Ogola as the new Chief of Defense Forces.
Siku ya Jumanne, Tuesday, tarehe 2 mwezi wa 5 tunarudi uwanjani.
Tuesday next week it is. Raila Odinga announces the return of protest after jetting back into the country.
Nasikia ati wanataka kupanga kwenda Nairobi katikati, ati kwenda kuharibu mali ya wananchi, ati kwenda kulete fujo. Mimi nataka niwaambie my friends, hiyo haitawezekana. Mimi ndio rais wa Kenya. Na kama mnataka kuendelea, mtajua hamjui.
And enough is enough. Ruto tells off Raila Odinga of a Tuesday demos, calling on the opposition to focus on bipartisan talks. Once more, welcome to the broadcast. This is Lookup Weekend. We're here to bring you up to speed with stories that are making headlines even as you usher in your weekend. We're also live across all the social media platforms where we are at Lookuptv on Twitter, Lookuptv on Facebook, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. Let's begin. Televangelist Ezekiel Odero will remain in police custody until Tuesday next week, when the court will rule on whether he will be detained for 30 more days to allow police to complete their investigations into his alleged involvement in the Shakahola cult. And as Phoebe Wangombe reports, Shanzu Senior Principal Magistrate Joe Omido on Friday asked the police to detain Odero, stating that the matters raised by both the prosecution and the defense are weighty, and the court will require sufficient time and research for a ruling.
Pastor Ezekiel Odero will continue to be detained at Shanzu Police Station. This is after he was presented to court today for alleged involvement in the murder of more than 100 people through the Shakahola cult. Shanzu Senior Principal Magistrate Joe Omido asked the police to detain Odero, saying that the issues presented by the prosecution and defense are serious and the court will need sufficient time and research to give a decision. Rescue operations in Kilifi County today have been conducted at a slow speed due to the rains. Elsewhere in Butere, Mushirombe village, an old man by the name Cleophas Atanda has explained how his son Zablon Atanda became a follower of Mackenzie. The old man has said that he and his wife raised their children well, but he doesn't understand what happened to his son Zablon. Atanda explains that after his son left home, he got a job of selling goods in Nairobi, and that's when things started to look change.
2016 ndio akatoka hapa akaenda Nairobi kutafuta kazi na akapata kazi supermarket. Alikuwa anafanya kazi vizuri, hata ananitumia usaidizi. Baadaye ndio nikaanza kusikia tu fununu ati huyu kijana yako sasa amewacha hiyo kazi. Anafanya kazi ya business ya kuuza nguo hapo Kikomba. Haya, nikasikia sasa huyo kijana amewachana na hiyo kanisa, ameingia kwa kanisa ingine, hata ile inatushinda, hatujui inaitwa nini.
Phoebe Wangombe, Lookuptv.
And staying in Kilifi County, Interior CS Kithure Kindiki has issued a stern warning to individuals using religion to cause harm to Kenyans. In his address to the press at Shakahola on Friday, Kindiki said the government is not going to ease pressure when dealing with cult-related religions. And as Brian Moy reports, Kindiki made changes to the security in the county.
Interior CS Kithure Kindiki has announced the mass transfer of security officials in Kilifi County. While addressing the press on Friday, Kindiki said the move was necessary for the government to gain the trust of Kenyans.
We will transfer all station, division, sub-county and county heads and commanders of all agencies within Kilifi County effective today, so that we can show the public that what we are doing is for the good of the country and for the good of justice. We are not implicating anybody.
Kindiki also said that the ranks of the officers leading the investigations have been upscaled and that the new heads will be announced from police headquarters on Friday.
Who ought to have either received a report, or you may have received a report and failed to act, then you cannot be part of the team that is conducting the investigations. They opt at station, division, sub-county and county level in all agencies, including the Kenya Police Service, Administration Police. All of them must be deployed elsewhere and allow their colleagues from other stations to come and help us push the investigations forward.
The CS also said that the government had suspended the exhumation process in the 8,000-acre Shakahola forest due to bad weather. According to Kindiki, the process needs to be carried out while it is dry to preserve evidence that he said was crucial in court.
They must be able to do it in such a way that all the evidence that can be retrieved from that site is able to be retrieved. And therefore, we have suspended the exhumation because of the weather. And as soon as it dries up a little bit, we will resume. And
while defending his directive to limit access to the media, Kindiki said that the directive was given to protect the dignity of the victims, adding that the government has nothing to hide. Kindiki said that the government was going to be firm on anyone who was involved in the saga that has seen the exhumation of 108 bodies and the rescue of more than 34 people so far. He reiterated that the government will defeat preachers who he said are acting just like terrorists.
Purporting that we will fear them because they are quoting God and they are quoting scriptures, and therefore we are going to treat them the way we have treated Al-Shabaab and other threats to our national security. This is a tragedy like no other. This is a low moment for Kenya. And I am informed there are still some religious leaders out there making funny comments about what is happening here and trying to insinuate that perhaps what the government...
Kindiki reiterated that the government was not interfering with the work of the preachers in the country, but was protecting its citizens.
As that we are doing everything above board. The process of accountability has not begun, it will come. It will also involve the church people who are threatening us here that they know God. We will go for them, not just the ones that are already in custody, wherever they are. All religions, all beliefs.
According to Kindiki, the government will act on any preacher found breaking the law. Brian Amoy, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Thank you, Brian Moy, for that story. Moving on, President William Ruto has appointed General Francis Omondi Ogola as the new Chief of Defence Forces. Ogola, who was until Friday the Vice Chief of Defence Forces, holding the rank of Lieutenant General, was promoted to a full general and named to head the military. He replaces General Robert Kibochi, whose term of service has ended after 44 years of service. In changes announced on Friday, President Ruto also appointed Lieutenant John Mwangi as Vice Chief of Defence Forces. Prior to the appointment, Mwangi was the Vice Chancellor of the National Defence College. The position has now been taken over by Major General Said Farah. And now to some politics. Azimio leader Raila Odinga has declared the opposition outfit will embark on nationwide weekly protest starting from Tuesday next week. Odinga has accused the government of not showing interest in holding meaningful discussions on contentious issues in the proposed bipartisan parliamentary process. Lara says these protests will continue until when the government will listen to their demands.
Kama kwa sababu Bwana Ruto na wenzake wamekataa kutii amri na kufuata yale taratibu ambayo tulikubaliana na wao, wamevunja hii mkataba, tunarudi uwanjani. Kesho ni Jumamosi, kesho kutwa ni Jumapili, mtondo itakuwa ni Jumatatu, siku ya Labor Day. Sasa sisi wafanyikazi mtondo go siku ya Jumanne, Tuesday tarehe 2 mwezi wa 5 tunarudi uwanjani.
Ni ndugu na dada zetu, kumbuka mshahara wako haujaongezwa tangu siku za Kibaki. Kumbuka wewe uko na shida ya unga na ya mtoto wako kwenda shule. Wacha tukutetee na wacha kufanya mambo ovyo. Wacha kutaka kupelekwa ICC kama Kome na Bungei.
Sisi tulisema tuko tayari kwa mazungumzo, lakini uweze kuja unaficha kisu mgongoni, ala unasema tufanye mazungumzo. Hao ni mazungumzo ama ni ulagai? Wangapa nasema hatutaki ulagai Kenya hii. Nimerudia, mimi na Raila tuliibiwa kura zetu 2013, tukaibiwa 2017. Nikasema ngoja Martha na yeye asaidie ndugu huyu, mimi niwasukume kutoka nyuma, wakaibia Martha na Raila tena. Mnataka tufanye nini?
And President William Ruto has told the opposition coalition Azimio leaders not to dare him as he remains firmly opposed to demonstrations. Ruto has reminded the opposition he is the president and that he will no longer tolerate their threats going forward, warning that any leader who will disrupt the business environment through demonstrations will be dealt with accordingly. And as a reporter Henry Tende now files, Ruto remains firm that he will only allow bipartisan parliamentary approach on contentious issues.
President William Ruto, in company of his deputy Rigathi Gachagua and other leaders of Kenya Kwanza government, were in Rongai, Kajiado County on an official development visit. After launching several development projects in the county, President Ruto and his luminaries delved deep into demonstration politics, castigating Azimio leader Raila Odinga and the entire contingent of opposition coalition, warning them that he will no longer tolerate them and their threats.
Hatuwezi kukubali mtu yeyote kwa sababu yeyote kuendelea kuharibu mali ya wananchi. Hiyo hatuwezi kukubali. Na mimi nataka nitangaze hapa leo ya kwamba haitawezekana tena. It is not possible for us to allow a few people to destroy property, to destroy people's business in quest of their own interests and in quest of their own selfish issues.
The commander-in-chief has categorically reminded opposition that he is the president of the country and that he will firmly deal with anyone intending to mess with his government.
Nasikia ati wanataka kupanga kwenda Nairobi katikati, ati kwenda kuharibu mali ya wananchi, ati kwenda kulete fujo. Mimi nataka niwaambie my friends, hiyo haitawezekana. Mimi ndio rais wa Kenya. Na kama mnataka kuendelea, mtajua hamjui. Yes, enough is enough. Haiwezekani tena.
President Ruto is adamant any negotiations must be within the framework of the constitution and must go through the bipartisan parliamentary process.
And I want to tell them, wasione ya kwamba tumesema tuongee, wanaona ya kwamba ati watatuletea mchezo. Mchezo hatutaki. Uchaguzi iliisha. Wananchi waliamua. mambo ya kuharibu mali ya wananchi, kuharibu biashara ya wananchi, hiyo haitawezekana going forward.
Sisi tunataka kuambia huyu mzee, wewe kwenda pumzika, patia rais wetu nafasi afanyie Wakenya kazi.
With the cost of living one of the major concerns listed by Azimio, President Ruto says his government has already lowered the price of maize flour and that by next week the prices will fall even further.
Ile bei ya unga ilikuwa 240. Saa hizi tumeisukuma kutumia akili peke yake, hakuna hata shilingi moja tumeweka. Akili peke yake saa hii imefika 150. Na mimi bado nasukuma. Ukienda hapo utakuta. Mimi nataka tuteremushe mpaka next week mutaona tena bei zingine mpya.
President Ruto has also confirmed the price of gas will significantly come down.
Saa hizi pendekezo iko bunge tuondoe ile ushuru ambayo ilikuwa inalipishwa gas na gas cylinder. Vile niliwaeleza, tunataka tuipunguze, bei yake ikue chini, ndio kila mwananchi aweze kupika chakula akitumia gas bila ya kutafuta mambo ya makaa na ile mambo ingine.
The call for demonstrations has sharply divided the country as the government and the opposition hold divergent views. When will all this come to an end? Henry Tende, Lookup TV.
And that story by Henry Tende takes us for a very fast break here on the program. This is Look Up Weekend. So much more on the other side, including a lot on the business front.
Hey darling, are we still on for our coffee date?
I'm waiting for you to come and pick me up.
I should be able to pick you in a few.
It's a coffee yogurt date?
It's not just a yogurt, it's royal coffee yogurt.
Flow with the sweet taste of thick and smooth Royal Fresh coffee yogurt. Royal Fresh, the royal taste of freshness.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And kama kawaida, this is the cook off with Alex Karani.
Sijazoea kukupika sana. Zile vitu mimi hupika vizuri. Mimi hupika vizuri kahawa, instant coffee, and also boiled eggs. I'm very good in cooking boiled eggs.
And it's up to you to come up with your own recipe.
Okay.
What we want is we want to have a good meal.
Salt, nisaidie kijiko please.
Paul, unaweka salt kwa nini?
Mimi huweka hivyo. Leta kijiko. Si umeniambia nipike venye mimi napika. I want to jump for the Lord right now. I want to dance for the Lord. Now jump like this. I want to jump for the King right now. I want to jump for the King right now. Hey!
We as Novena United Circle are a society that is able to provide a platform for business startups by providing financial aid to members and creating a platform to accumulate their savings. We look for small business entrepreneurs who are starting a business venture and provide the best opportunity to expand a business niche and turn it into something big. For more information, call us on 0768 757 956 or WhatsApp us on 0734 832 430. Novena United Circle. Tuungane pamoja.
Are you looking for a renowned institution of academic and professional excellence to kickstart your career? Then join KIPS Technical College, a top NEC, CASNEP, NITA, HRMPEB and KISIM examination center in Kenya, fully accredited by TVET Authority. We offer high-quality hands-on training in engineering, hospitality, tourism, journalism, ICT, business, accounting, hairdressing and beauty, health sciences, community development and foreign languages, and have placed over 26,000 graduates in employment since 1994. Admission Admissions for April intake is ongoing. Call 0720-813-113 or visit any of our 6 campuses located within Nairobi. KIPS Technical College, your sure path to success.
Why Malindi? Any idea why the A-list celebrities, politicians choose Malindi as a destination? Is it the sandy, spotless white beaches, the rhythmic, relaxing oceanic waves, or is it the great potential investment opportunity that Malindi has to offer? Dagmar learns we are here with a variety of projects from as low as 99,000 shillings. You get an eighth of an acre with ready title deeds. Book your plot today with only 35,000 shillings and get a free return air ticket. Be the next investor in Malindi with Dagmar Loans. Call us now on 0740 888 111 or 0740 888 222. Dagmar Loans. We promise, we deliver. Why wait? 20 Malindi.
Ninampenda kwa sababu kuanzia tarehe 25 mwezi wa Disemba mwaka wa 81.
You mean Christmas Day?
Yes. Alinikutanisha na mpenzi wangu ambaye tumeweza kutembea naye for the last 42 years.
When it came to my notice that Sama was impotent,
hali ikawa kana kwamba nao hata sasa tulikuwa kama assistant and brother.
And welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with Lookup TV. The hashtag is Lookup Weekend. Nancy Nelima here and Felista Adundo on the sign language interpretation. Let's continue informing you. Over 140,000 university students will this year miss out on the HELB loans due to a budgetary cut by the Treasury in the wake of the current financial crunch. According to the Higher Education Loans Board, the Treasury had allocated 14.8 billion shillings against the target 20.5 billion shillings. Gladys Mashariana reports.
The low budget is expected to affect a number of students who depend on the HELB loans to advance their education. This came as the board noted that the number of defaulters were on the rise, a move that was affecting other beneficiaries of the education system. According to the board CEO Charles Wingera, a total of over 500,000 students had applied for the loans, but only 341,000 will benefit from the loans. He said that the board received 14.8 billion, which was 5.7 billion less than the budgetary demands, meaning a reduction in the number of beneficiaries. He added that over 107 graduates had delayed in servicing their loans, with the numbers rising around July of every year.
Our budget is about 14.8 billion Kenya shillings. To fund about 341,000 students. However, we have we got a demand of about 500,000, which means we are not able to meet the entire demand. So we have a shortfall of about 140,000 students who we have allocated zero for this year, hoping that next year things will be better. All requiring, about 5.7 billion Kenya shillings. And we continue talking to the students to give them hope.
The CEO noted that universities across the country were facing a financial crunch, which had affected their operation and service delivery. However, he said that they were working closely with counties and corporate bodies in resource mobilization as part of addressing the current financial crisis. Ringera was addressing the press in Naivasha after the launch of the Help M-Pesa app that empowers students to upkeep their portion of their loans. He lauded Safaricom, noting that the app will ease the process of receiving HELB loans and repayment for the students. Safaricom Chief Financial Officer Esther Waititu said that the app could also be used to pay the HELB loans by the students. Waititu termed the app as very secure, adding that the students will easily access the cash for their upkeep and to pay their fees. She was full of praise for the app, noting that the students could easily get their statements and make their decisions faster.
Them to disburse funds into a mobile number, which is typically what we use M-Pesa for. When they disburse that money, the students are then able to access the money. And remember, HELP does it in two ways. They disburse money for payment of fees, and they also disburse money for upkeep of these students. So for the students, they're then able to access their upkeep money through M-Pesa, which they have a wallet for. So they're able to do their reconciliation. They're able to track where their expenses are going. It is done at their convenience for them.
Gladys Masharia, Lookuptv.
Our guests will be led to the...
Let's now head over to the Western region where 5 suspects, including a woman, have been detained at the Ikolomani police station in Kakamega County after allegedly kidnapping a woman and sexually assaulting her before throwing her into River Yala.
The 5 suspects are accused of transporting the woman on a motorbike to Ivole village in the Ikolomani area where she was tortured and sexually assaulted before being thrown into the Yala River.
Naenda kwa duka na nikawanyua na wajangazi, wakanichukua kanipeleka Isuha huko, wakaenda kunikatia huko.
Ni vijana yetu wametuonyesha mfano mbaya, kwa maana huyo ni kama alipona vile walikuwa wameweka vitu vibaya kwa mwili yake, kwa mdomo na mahali anajisaidia, tulikuwa nafikiri hata pona.
Residents around, led by Enoch Miheso, claim that the victim had an extramarital relationship with one of the suspects.
Mama alikuwa na urafiki na mwanamume mwingine, na huyu mwanamume naye alikuwa na urafiki na msichana. Huyu msichana anatoka ile.
The Kakamega County Police Commander has detained the suspects and are expected to be charged after they are done with the investigation. Lydia Mweri, Lookup TV.
And as the world marks Sexual Awareness Month this April, the shadows of sexual animosity continue to exist as cases of sexual assault continue to be reported. Cecilia Lubanga joined a group of girls comprising of sexual victims at the YMCA Center in Shauri-Moyo, Nairobi County, and brings us the story of delayed justice for an 18-year-old girl who was sexually assaulted at 14 years by her stepfather.
April is a Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And as routine has it, girls drawn from different areas within Nairobi gather here to grasp knowledge on how to prevent sexual violence, girls aged between 14 and 18 years. However, within the very group are girls who are yet to overcome the social injustices meted on them by the people they once trusted. Some of them turned teenage mothers. We find Mariam, not her actual name, who has joined the forum in search of closure and understanding of what was allegedly done unto her while she was only 14 years old by the person who was supposed to play the role of a father in her life.
Tangu nizaliwe, niliishi na mamangu just for 3 years, tena kaniacha nikaishi na shosho wangu, nika grow up. After 10 years ndio come back, nikakuja kuishi na yeye Nairobi. Kuja kuishi na yeye Nairobi nilikuwa na stepdad, nikamkuta kuna stepdad because my dad alikufa 2007. Tukaishi na yeye like 1 year. Reactions zikaanza kuchange. Mamangu nilikuwa ananiambia reaction ya stepdad wangu imeanza kuchange, anasema yeye hakupenda mamangu na watoto wake. Yani Kenya alikuwa anamaanisha mimi na brother yangu sisi watoto wake. Yeye alipenda mamangu na my 2 sisters wenye amezaa na mamangu. Mamangu anasema atakuishi na mimi but stepdad anakataa. So after hapo mamangu akaachana na job, ana kazi, akatafuta kazi nyingine hapo ya kuosha plot like ana react kwa caretaker. So kwenda kwa hiyo plot, babangu alikuwa anataka mamangu afanyange kazi, anataka like akuwe house mother, na mamangu apendi, anapenda job. So yeye akaniambia niende every Wednesday na Saturday nikifunga shule na msaidia kwa. Ilikuwa November the 10, 2018. Mamangu akanituma niende nimuoshe kama kawaida. Nikaenda kumuosha. Nikachota hizo maji nikapeleka upstairs. Nikamwambia hakuna kifagio, akaniambia niende kwake chini ya kiti. Sasa mimi jumi venye nilikuwa namuona sikuwa na suspect akuwe mtu mwenye alinifanyia hivyo. Mimi nilikuwa namuona ni innocent, then yeye ni police officer, anajua rules za Kenya ni gani. Aisiniwe mwacha uko juu ya ghorofa kiyotajua. So mimi kutoka chini ya kiti naona mguu ya mtu hapo, na shanga huyu mtu nimemwacha huko juu, amefika juu huko chini. Sasa nikasimama, kusimama akanitolea gani huku akiuno nyuma, akanipoint nayo hapa kwa phone, akaanza kuniambia ati unajua ukienda kuambia mamako nitakuona ni mamako.
Her innocence taken away from her at such a tender age, turning her into a teen mother.
Anitoa hapo, akanirusha kwa kitanda, akanitoa nguo. Skati yangu alitoa tu vizuri, lakini panti yangu aliraruanga hivi akatupa huko. Then akanirape. After kunirape, akaniambia I'm done with my shit. Unaweza jitoa hapo kujisikia. Na ameniacha hapo katikati ya bed.
The level of animosity allegedly meted on her brought me close to tears. Although time has flown over since the incidents, it lives fresh in her mind like it was yesterday.
Kwa Makadara low court, DNA bado ikatoka negative. Sasa mimi nikasema DNA natokaje negative? Like mimi sielewi hii kesi venye mnanipeleka. Hawakuniambia kitu, wakanyamaza. Wakaniambia tutafanya tuje nyingine, wewe usijali. Nikasema tu sawa. So wakakuja tukafanya tena dia nyingine ya tatu. Nikasikia tu bado ni negative, lakini hao madisi wenyewe hawakuniambia. Ni woman mwenye anatutekea kwa shelter ndio ananiambia.
Some of the cases, not all of them have been successful. We have success stories, and also others that we are really struggling because of witnesses and all those, because especially defilement cases that have been done by stepfathers and people in the same family, or a family member, you find that most of them tend to want to cover up the family member. So either the mother will be compromised, the parent will be compromised, then they don't want to now produce witnesses in court and all that. That prolongs the case. And also change of statements. When the child is not rescued immediately, you'll find that the parents or the relatives will try to manipulate the whole story. So when the kind of statement that the police has, the statement that we have and the statement that will be given in court will be totally different. So in such cases, you'll find that it's a bit difficult for us to move smoothly.
Maisha Girls Safe Houses, however, come in handy, housing 50 girls who are survivors of sexual violence, aged between 8 and 18 years.
We give them food, clothing, make sure they have a clean place to sleep, a clean change of clothes. We also do counseling, so we ensure that they see a counselor just for trauma therapy and healing, and that's done twice a week. So the girls you've had sharing their stories have been with us. One of them has been with us now. This is the 4th year, and her case is in court. So it has taken longer than we had expected, because we thought that by this time justice would have been served. But then, I don't know, I think it's just our judicial processes that take long to deliver this justice to these girls.
For now, Mariam holds on to the wise counsel she gets from various well-wishers and counselors, and even though she holds on to the much she has managed to accomplish at her tender age, she lives watching over her back lest her alleged perpetrator comes hunting her down for speaking openly about what transpired in her life.
It's a permanent scar that Mariam, not her actual name, has to live with every day of her life, with hope that someday justice is going to be served. She's among hundreds of children whose dreams have been compromised by perpetrators who are yet to be brought to book. Cecilia Lubanga, Lookup TV, at YMCA Center, Nairobi.
Thank you, Cecilia Lubanga, for that very heartfelt story. And as we mark this Awareness Month, for those who have been taken advantage of defilement cases and rape cases in this month of April. Thank you for that awareness. And now moving on, Kibo Africa, a motorcycle manufacturing company, has launched bikes in the country targeting to help Kenyan commuters navigating the ever-rising traffic on Kenyan roads. According to the company, the bikes are engineered to provide maximum comfort and power while navigating city traffic.
According to the CEO, Kipo Bikes Africa, Research in Kenya shows that more and more commuters now prefer